So one of my favorite barroom conversations when it comes to sports is like, would you trade this person for that whole thing? It's fun. It's a fun mental exercise. Sometimes calling it mental is a bit of a stretch, but it's always a lot of fun. And now you always get the complete obtuse jabronis who are like, I would never trade player X for anything, right? Everyone has a price. Everyone does have a price. The day of the NFL draft, you can give up to 4 first-round picks. So don't tell me that anyone is completely untouchable. Just get out of here. Get out of here. And also, I love this argument. Why would you trade a player for picks who might not be as good as a player that you're trading? I think that's dumb logic. It really is. Because, yes, there is a sliding scale. Every single player does have his price. And for the booty that you get for a said player, if you trust your scouting department, if you trust your decision makers and get good value for the players, or even more value than you're looking for, that's plus EV. That's plus expected value. I mean, well, conversely, like, what if you pass on the trade and the players you would have taken end up being Hall of Famers? If we want to go the other illogical extreme. But don't take things too seriously, because we don't around here, like, ever. But I wanted to go through and talk about the current stars of the Vikings. Like, what would I trade them for? Now, taking out player for player deals, because that's extremely variant. So just straight up draft capital value. And also, I mean, the cool thing about draft picks is that you get older, but they stay the same age, man. Except for Hayden Hurst, because he was like 30 when he was drafted. But whatever. So these trades, and we're going to take out dead cap implications just for ease. So straight up in a vacuum value. So there you go. So Kirk Cousins. The no trade clause is lifted on the extension. So now, after this season, I would trade him to San Francisco for a 4th. I really would. Like, I know it would. I know we said ignore dead cap, but it would be essentially committing seppuku, complete Harry Carey on the Viking salary cap if they trade Kirk Cousins after 1 year. But you know, Dalvin. Now this one may be controversial. I would trade Dalvin for a high 2nd-round pick. I really would. I don't think a team necessarily would give up a first-rounder for him at this point, just because of, he had an amazing 2019. Again, didn't play a full season because health issues. Is in the final year of his contract year. Will be looking for big money. So I don't think a team necessarily would be looking to give up a lot for him. But also, if the Vikings can get a commensurate value with what they took, because he was the 41st overall pick in 2017, I think you would take it. I would, because you believe in Alexander Madison. Running back is the attrition position. So could Madison plus a kind of a speedy sort of scat back replace the production of Dalvin? I think probably. But also, I'm a huge Dalvin fan, don't get me wrong. But also, I'm not a fan of paying running backs big money, because it never seems to work out. As well as, would you be wagering that Dalvin's going to be doing what he's doing 4 years from now? Playing at a high level? Like, will Dalvin play at his peak 2019 level 4 years from now? That's a tough question. It just really is. So for me, I would take a high 2nd for Dalvin Cook right now. Jerome Thielen. So the pride of Detroit Lakes, Mankato State University. It'll always be Mankato State. Don't try and change your name. You know, if you call a dog turd and you change its name to like a rose turd, it's still a dog turd. Nah, so that's Mankato State. Winona State for life. Anyways, Adam Thielen, age is certainly a factor. Does turn 31 in August. So, I mean, you look at what the Vikings got for Diggs. I think you would have to discount that a little bit, because Diggs is, how old is Diggs? Like 25 or something ridiculous like that. But Thielen will have value. I would probably take a mid-first rounder and say a 5th. Somewhere in that neighborhood. And I know we're going to get hate mail for this, but it's probably where I'm at right now. Look, if a team who drafts in the teens, or so say, that's a bad example. So say a team that's drafting in the teens comes up, offers you the number 16 overall pick. I don't know who picks there. 16 and a 5th-round pick for Thielen right now. I might do it. I really might, especially if Jerry Jeudy's still on board, or somehow CeeDee Lamb is still there. So essentially, you're swapping out Thielen for CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy and a 5th-round pick. Mighty tempting. It really would be. Olabisi Johnson. I'd probably require a 2nd-rounder, mainly because I'm upping my price, because I want to know what's behind door number 2 with BC. Of course, he came in, was amazing, had 3 touchdowns. as a seventh round pick. Like I want to scratch his lotto ticket a little bit more, so that's why my price is a little bit higher than you would expect. Rudy, probably a fourth rounder, even though he had a really nice resurgence in 2019. I mean, age, contract, blah blah blah. Any of the offensive line. So Brian O'Neill, I would not give up Brian O'Neill unless we got a first and a second. I really would. That's how highly I believe in young Brian O'Neill. I think he's going to develop into one of the better young tackles in the league. I think he's perfect with the scheme. I think he's perfect for what they want to do, and I think he's just completely rock solid. And I would demand extremely high draft compensation for him. With Bradbury, it's still too soon to tell, but of course we put a price on BC Johnson, I guess. So for me, Bradbury, he struggled early on, but he was gangbusters down the stretch. I think he is going to be the future pivot of the Vikings for the next decade. So it would be up there again. It would probably be first and a third, first and a second. Probably around the same value as Brian O'Neill. Riley Reef, fourth rounder. Send it. Elfline, we'll give you a seventh. We'll even upgrade to a sixth. If he's really bad, we'll do that up. Defense. So Danielle is the first one where I'm like, I want everything. I want 3 1s and probably a third round pick, like minimum, because you have a player that's not even in his prime yet, is on an amazing team friendly contract, even though I said, contract cap, don't factor that in. But he is going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he will flirt with the sack record, and you want to keep that in purple for as long as possible. You really do. So for me, Danielle, it's Mondo. Like, have to bring it on. Anthony Barr, second round pick. Go ahead. Eric Kendricks, I think, is blossoming into one of the best 4-3 inside linebackers in the NFL because Kuechly retired. I think Wagner is sort of starting to wane, so I think eventually Eric Kendricks is going to take up that mantle as the man in the middle in that 4-3, like him and Darius Leonard, just absolute studs. So Kendricks, first and a third. Actually, no. First and a second. Yeah, put it up there. Harrison, like Thielen, age is certainly a factor. I think Harrison is still the one of the best, if not the best, all-around safeties in the league. But man, he is going to want I believe he's going to want one more good long-term extension. I think he deserves it for sure. But if a team came up and offered first and a third, I'd be pretty tempted. I really would. Yeah. Anthony Harris, given the franchise tag situation, just give us a second and then we can move on with our day. But that's what it is. Like, no one is completely off limits. Like, Danielle Hunter, I guess, would be the closest just in terms of logistically giving up 3 1s and a 3. But yeah, it just shows you, like, everyone has value. Everyone can be moved. And also, if you look at, like, the draft, I mean, when we talked about essentially you're trading Thielen for potentially if Judy and or Ruggs and or CD Lamb were there in the first round. It's like sometimes it's tough to pass up. But again, it's completely empty calorie, 0 calorie, whatever, barroom banter. But those are our values. Where did we get it wrong? What are your values on some of the players? Let us know in the comment section below. I always love when you guys get involved there. Plus, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up on the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol. Production value.